Bangladesh is a nation the size of the state of Nevada but boasting a population of 156.6 million people. It is located east of India and south of the Himalayas in southern Asia. It was once controlled by Pakistan and went by the name East Pakistan, but gained its independence in 1971. Bangladesh is an incredibly unique place as the confluence of three of the most powerful rivers on Earth, the Ganges, the Brahmaputra, and the Meghna. These rivers combine as the Padma in the south of Bangladesh and boast an average discharge of 38,129 meters cubed per second, which is rivaled only by the Amazon and the Congo. These rivers provide the Bengali people with vital transit routes and also make possible the cultivation of rice, the primary staple of their diet. Rice accounts for 75% of the agricultural land use in the country. However, flooding can also be exceedingly detrimental. According to the United Nations, Bangladesh experienced 219 natural disasters between 1980 and 2008, resulting in over $16 billion in damage. Evaluating statistics on hazard-related deaths, Bangladesh is the sixth most vulnerable nation to floods and the most vulnerable to tropical cyclones on Earth. These problems are compounded by 25% of the nation being located less than 1 meter above sea level. Current climate change predictions expect world sea levels to rise this much in less than a century. However, a case study of Bangladesh can provide insights into resilience for coastal nations around the globe. Bangladesh is a rapidly urbanizing country. Since 1951, the urban population has increased from 4.33% to nearly 25%. This growth has proceeded rapidly and often without long-term planning. New roads, parking lots, and buildings have tremendously increased the amount of impervious surfaces nationwide, which intensifies the effects of flooding. Rivers are not stable features. They move dramatically across the landscape, filling new channels and abandoning old. Therefore, land is created and destroyed constantly. Chars are features created by these energetic river dynamics. They are newly accreted land formed by the deposition of riverine sediment. They can either be island chars or attached chars. Island chars tend to be older and more stable. People who lose their land often settle here. Unfortunately, life on a char is difficult and the people very poor. Many must take out loans just to purchase food. They are much more likely than average rural Bengalis to lose crops and livestock due to floods. The government has created policies attempting to mitigate these effects. Following a particularly harsh flood season in 1988, Bangladesh adopted the Flood Action Plan. The goals of this plan were to protect rural infrastructure, build new infrastructure such as embankments, and create a flood forecasting system. It was met with severe criticism as being too expensive and unrealistic to maintain. One engineered solution found across the country is falling aprons. These are piles of concrete blocks called riprap, stacked along riverbanks. Sometimes textile bags of sand are used called geobags. As a river erodes its bank, the concrete or geobags mass dump into the channel. This serves to stabilize the channel and slow continued erosion. Social policies have also been implemented. The Char Development and Settlement Project is a current initiative to help increase accessibility of amenities such as medicine and schools for people who live on the chars. It also helps displaced persons make legal claims to own land. By 2017, 28,000 households are anticipated to benefit from the services provided by the CDSP. The government of Bangladesh, in 2009, put together an ambitious project to address climate change. This is founded on 6 pillars: food security, social protection, and health, increasing access to amenities for the most vulnerable populations; comprehensive disaster management, improving government disaster plans; infrastructure, maintaining existing infrastructure as well as creating more; research and knowledge management, predicting the scale and timing of natural disasters; mitigation and low-carbon development, developing more low-carbon practices in business and institutions; and finally, capacity building and institutions. This multifaceted approach addresses not only the physical challenges, but the underlying social vulnerabilities associated with hazards. Planners have an important role to play in Bangladesh's future. High-risk flood zones must be identified in order to limit development there. Key infrastructure, such as hospitals and schools, must be built elsewhere. Rather than fighting the river's natural cycle, human behavior has to adapt. Many people already spend a majority of the year either living in boats or in stilted houses. In the less earthquake-prone regions, this is an effective strategy to limit damage due to flooding. Educational training is also a key component here. Farmers must learn best management practices, such as conservation tilling, to protect riverbanks from excessive erosion. Lastly, these problems are not isolated to one nation. The global implications of potential environmental refugees are staggering. It is only with a strong and united international effort that we will be able to overcome the challenges that climate change brings for our future.